Remember, recover, return, frail people. And greetings, those who love Maria and her wisdom and knowledge. And we are here to help our people. You are from Venus, far off in the future. You are laying in a laboratory of technology. You have a holographic chip in your brain, and your mind sees out through it this entire reality, and your imagination adds everything missing. And your imagination connects you with everyone else in the hologram. And it's only possible for you to know the people you knew before you came here. It's so important coming here that we seek out those who are coming at the same time. There is a certain time frame that your DNA fits into the natural timeline. And when you receive that date at home on Venus, you begin to seek out those who will be there at the same time. It's a big deal where we come from. I once had a memory of a close friend telling me back home on Venus not to come to the hologram. He was saying to me, "You don't have to do that, Joe. I don't think it's wise. I don't think it will benefit you." Very interesting. He was very compelling and intense. And evidently, I had already made up my mind. Not because of, apparently, the only reason was to pass the initiation, to be able to imagine our own world. So, the people you knew before you came to the hologram mostly are people you sought out for that reason. And apparently that complicates your life back home to a new degree. And last episode I told how my true self told me now that I had made a plan to block some of the information from the ritual so that it could be triggered by people I knew before I came here, and that would be the evidence that I knew them before I came here. Only those you knew before you came here do you know here. You cannot meet anyone in a hologram. You cannot find your true love. It's like you're dreaming, and I might add, this is one of Maria's explanations to me. It's like you're dreaming. When you're dreaming your own dream, everyone and everything in the dream is you. Obviously. But in the hologram, the technology separates, and projections of DNA according to the natural order. See, you could only be born in the natural order to the people you were born to according to your DNA. And in saying that, I will get to the third ritual. Which, again, I began to become stronger at the ritual setup of clearing the energy, clearing me, coming at the right time. In the beginning, it was midnight Saturday. The very, very beginning of Sunday. And I drank the tea, and I seen beautiful things again, and they cleared, and I was about 4 inches off the ground, running through the woods. It took me a minute to realize what was going on, but I had switched bodies with my cat that was given to me by the Missouri River Goddess. We found her by the river. I was in my cat's body, running along the ground. The lowest I had ever traveled to the ground. Amazing cat's perspective. We are giants to them. And I seen the river ahead, and I ran to the river, and standing on the shore on rocks was the Missouri River Goddess, Mama Maria. She was dressed in all white dress, and I ran up to her, and she said, "Do you understand?" I said, "No." And she said, "Because this world has made you feel guilty. I had you switch bodies with your cat so she could come here and cleanse your soul. That already happened. And now I was me standing in front of her. And she said, if you keep coming back here every week, I will guide you, I will teach you, I will protect you, because I'm a goddess. And I will never ask you for money, because I don't need it. And I will never ask you to kill your son. And we both laughed. She said to me, ask me anything you want to know. And I said, who am I? She smiled and said, how about when are you? I said, huh? What? And she said, I am your creator. Not of your soul, of course. Of your personality. Joe, I created you. I brought you off the plane of unidentification, of no personality, no expression, to be born as a mature 30-year-old man on Venus. It was me. That's what makes me your ancestor. And I said, what? And she said, check this out. And in the click of my mind, I was in a memory I didn't know was a memory at the time. But I was standing naked in front of 10 or 12 or so very interesting looking people, one of which was Maria, and the other was the Gandalf Odin character from the first ritual, and he was standing right in front of me like he was before. And the first thing I noticed was how beautiful they were all dressed, and I have always characterized it as a sort of futuristic Star Wars dress with a sort of Asian influence, with very colorful, very different than what we wear now, and some even seem to be energized by something. And the Odin character stepped forward and he said to me, ask me anything you want to know. And as no left his mouth, I said, who am I? And he smiled and he said, how about this? Where are you? And in the click of my mind, me and him were standing in what I can best describe as a futuristic laboratory. And I was standing there with him, And in the center of the room was a table, and everything in this room was silver, chrome, technology filled the walls. Everything was technical. And I was looking around, and I looked at him. He was standing there. I didn't even see him at first. Odin. With a hood covering part of his eyes, a beard, a brown, silver robe, like different multi-colors and symbols on it. And he said to me, and in the center of this room was a table, a body hovering over a steel table, and it was hovering a few inches over with a technical device coming from the ceiling about 3 feet over the body, and it was projecting like lasers into, I said to my mind, the chakras, into the spine, like right into the spine, lasers, and the body is above, float like above the sea. It's not laying, and it's face down. And Odin says to me, go look at who it is. Go look at his face. And I bent down and I said, no way. No way. It was me. I was young and I looked perfect. I said, how? I turned to Odin. I turned to him and I said, how can that be? No way. He said, that is you. You were born in the future, and you are living in a hologram right now. And that's the technology. And everyone who is there with you is connected the same way. And I am not kidding you. I walked around the body probably 20 times. I looked at the face 20 different times. I could not believe it. I literally jumped around the room like, no way, I can't believe this. This is real. And he said, yes, it's real. And he said to me, the thankfulness that you felt unconsciously, that you gave to Yahweh and Jesus, it came from the feeling of gratefulness and thankfulness you have for this technology and its inventors. And we stayed in that room for quite some time. I kept going to the body, looking at me, and Odin said to me, we have time. Look close. And I started to ask him questions like, this body is so perfect. And he said to me, yeah, do you know, it doesn't need to eat. It doesn't have any waste. And it doesn't have sexual genitalia. So there can be no rape and no abortions, nothing like that. This is Venusian energy body, the same as the Alderbaron gods have. And as he was talking to me, we went back to the memory of my creation. And he said to me again, ask me anything you want to know. And I couldn't ask anything else. It just came out of my mind, my true self. Who am I? He said back, you're Leo. You are Leo. Your DNA is very Leo. And Maria stepped forward right on my side and she said, you're my lion, Catman. You're my son. You're my lion. And she said to me, and this, it was like me and her were also watching my memory together. And I turned around to her and I said, astrology? Because at the time I did not know much about it. I had just started studying. And she said, in the simulation, in the hologram, astrology is very simple. Because you instinctually think you are dreaming, your true self applies all your true characteristics to the planets, and the plan to add to your current personality, avatar, whatever word you want to use, that the true self is building, whatever the true self wants to add to the planets, the plan is in the houses. She said to me, find a good astrologer on your internet, Google, and study who you truly are and the plan that your true self has for you in the simulation. And as those words rolled off her eyes, her tongue, I looked into her eyes and they were so powerful. And she's the queen of remembering. My mind clicked. And there me and her were, sitting at a table, filling out the contracts for entering the holographic simulation. I looked down and I was signing my name, and she said, isn't it wild to ask to voluntarily go forth to experience broken heart, sadness, physical death, sickness. We had never, ever, those of us who, everyone born after 1945, June of 1945, was born in the domed city on Venus into your spiritual caste or your belief system caste. Okay. And I turned around to Maria in the astral space we were at, and I said, and she stopped me and she said, as far as you know, you paid to come here. And let me tell you, quite a substantial amount. And you actually contracted with the company to experience these things. And the parameters are set, but only the true self guiding you can fulfill those. She said, pointing down to the back in the vision, I seen her finger pointing to broken heart. And she said, oh, Joe, how much trouble broken hearts have brought. And what a move it was for frequency match technology to match people with their true loves. So much so that broken hearts are now very rare where we come from. And she said, Joe, the girl you chose was almost too perfect. I'm a Leo. She's an Aquarius. She said you two were like puzzle pieces. She said, it concerned me because those kind of matches bring great worldly success. And she said you unconsciously knew she could help you with your music and writing career. And there was so much power between you two that you both left your bodies and your two true selves met and said, I can't believe they are doing this. How are they doing this? She said, I'm interested in that girl, Joe. I never knew her until now. Perhaps we'll try to help her one day. And these visions left me marveling in awe. I literally, in the astral space, said to her, I want to go back. I want to go back and tell everybody about this. People I know don't even know astrology is real. And they have no idea that they are really in the Matrix. She said, I'm aware of that movie. She said, you could say I'm Queen of the Matrix. And on that note, we will conclude this talk and say, hail to Maria. Hail to Rhea. Hail to Mo, the Mo River goddess, the Maria Orsic River. Soon I will talk about where I grew up was close to where Maria lived in Atlantis. Yes, America was part of Atlantis, and where those two rivers meet, the Mississippi, the Sigrun River, and the Missouri, the Maria River, meet, according to Maria Orsic, is the most sacred place to her in the Western Hemisphere, and should be the most sacred place to every person who wants vril energy. That where the Missouri and Mississippi rivers meet are the center of the power of vril in our half of the world. Good luck to you, our vril people, people of Maria, just by looking at her.